Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to what is it, Batman Arkham City. So I did the augmented reality challenge, which was labeled in some versions of the game as augmented reality challenge 1, but actually is the fourth one in this version of the game. And I just finished it. It took me about 40 minutes of trying.
Ability training complete.
So yeah. Oh, it is labeled as one. Interesting, because that wasn't the first one that was given to us at all. So apparently that just gets us the Batwing, which we don't even see the Batwing in this game. Odd. That's fairly odd. Like, I guess it would be too easily explained if the Batwing was around, that Batman could just leave and get more resources at any point and wasn't really trapped in the city. There, I think, was a Batwing, certainly, that existed. Ooh, I didn't realize that this was right here. Well, then we can hack that fairly easily, too. Um, so we'll go and get that one done. That was nice. Um, yeah, we may have seen the Batwing get shot down or something in the first Arkham Asylum game. So the augmented reality, I can't reset it, but was here. And what you had to do is jump here, get through one ring, and then pretty much go into a dive bomb and nearly hit it, and then swoop through there. And I'm not going to be able to do it twice in a row. The only thing I can suggest is try to stay very close to the edge of the rings as you're diving down. Try to make it as swooping an arc. There definitely is a case here where the game is just incredibly inconsistent on how it plays. Sometimes it seems like it plays very, very well. Sometimes it feels like it plays pretty poorly as far as how. Let's see, do I really want to go down here? No. I think we'll go into this area for next. Like, sometimes you'll fly and you'll make that swoop easily. Sometimes you'll fly and you won't even make the first ring in the augmented reality things. And they totally established that they are not, it is not worth the effort. Because doing the augmented reality thing did not give you some increased grapnel ability or anything like that, which you would have expected there to be something more than just a simplistic you finished the side mission uh, of augmented reality. That really leaves us with wandering around trying to get the acts of violence, which there's probably only one more, and then the identity thief, which I may very well just have to look up the answer to that. So the Riddler Trophy we know is in here, but we could not find it. So is there something new about our abilities that we should think about? There's no little secret thing. What we should look for is if there's a path here that maybe Catwoman could reach. Because if that were the thing, that would kind of make sense. We know that there's a body here. But it's not, it's a riddle. It's not a picture that we're looking for. Yeah, anywhere I go. Well, let's go back to the map. We are in the industrial district. So that would be here. Will you be able to find them all? Will you be able to find them all? There's no grapnel ability. We've got lights that show up in the detective mode. It's kind of weird what does and doesn't show up in the detective mode. Got a orange light over here. And then seemingly nothing else. Let's just run around this room and see if maybe we've been distracted by the wrong things, and if I just go and solve the puzzle, maybe I'll find the right things. Let's see. We can climb down here, but then that makes me fall. Could have just jumped over. Lots of resets. So you have to kind of get out of this area somewhat quickly. You can't freeze this equipment or shoot this equipment. Yeah, it oddly does seem like there's either a completely different area in this game, or in this one hideout area. Maybe a different way in or something. I know there's an achievement for sneaking into some area through the back door, so it wouldn't be surprised. Talk to political prisoner. Let's just talk to everybody.
I've been in that cage for a week.
What's wrong with that man? Who the hell cuts himself for fun?
Is there possibly just a Riddler Trophy in a corner somewhere?
This won't end here. I will get out of here and continue my work.
We already turned on the electricity. and did that part of the puzzle. Yeah, there's doesn't seem to be anything over there. It says it's inside the building. Okay, I see it. Good. We found it. How do we get to it? I guess becomes the next question. Yeah, that's an example of where Detective Vision fails you, and that's a little strange because Detective Vision hasn't really failed that much. Like, almost always you're able to see like where you're going and where it wants you to go. There we go. And I unlocked another concept art. I'm sure it's not a case that that specific Riddler Trophy actually would have unlocked anything. It is more just a case that we are cleaning up the rest of the collectibles, and as we're approaching 100%, every new thing is an unlock. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not even really a percentage thing as much as it is just a case of the last 40 collectibles in the world
Can you find this cool couple
all
before
unlock
the romance
something.
thaws?
Cool couple. We don't even really have that many.
I can feel this place getting worse, minute by minute.
We really don't even have that many people on the ground acting as threats to us, so
Arkham City, go to hell.
we're looking around. Probably should be more in this mode than the other mode.
Just going to keep snowing.
Okay, I think Mr. Freeze may be in here.
I find Bruce Wayne. I'm collecting the reward and buying my way out of here.
And so this might be where that picture goes. So we'll go back in here. It's unlikely that there would be... Yep, they are in here. So it would be funny if you could fight Mr. Freeze and... Nope. I doubt you can. Pause now if you want to read this. There definitely is a case here to be made about just the fact that there's so much going on with the reading stuff that I'm not reading. That I have doomed myself in my experience of this game to not really enjoy much of it, because I'm not really listening to any of these tapes because I can't have them play while wandering around getting the last collectibles. I'm not reading any of this stuff because it's too much text and it pauses the actual action in the game, which, since this game is a collectathon action game, first and foremost, that counters the main gameplay mechanic 180 degrees. Yeah, I assume we're gonna just talk to...
You are safe now, Laura. I will not leave you again.
And we can hit A to talk to him.
I told you I would find her.
Thank you, Batman. I am sorry I doubted you.
Just fix her and quit this life. You're better than this.
So, I don't know if I mentioned it, but I have seen about 3 or 4 different variants of Harley Quinn, and because there is the Suicide Squad, the remake or the reusing of the same name as Suicide Squad, and Birds of Prey, and then now James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. There is a HBO Max mature cartoon called Harley Quinn. There is a DC superheroine girls, or DC superheroines, and I think there's a couple other Harley Quinn things that have come up after this point, and more recently I've seen them. It really does go to show that. Let's see. Why do we have a new Joker thing? I don't know. But this is somewhat close to what the new Harley Quinn looks like. Instead of blonde hair with red tips, they've now gone with like a more white hair, blue on one side, red on the other. It is usually a bustier type outfit top like she's wearing now, but it usually covers up a little bit more, and it doesn't have the tattoos. Also, in this case, they're giving her a anatomically impossible figure 8 waistline that would be basically crushing her organs. She, I don't think, has super long sleeves or metal bracelets. She definitely doesn't have 2 tattoos. I don't think they stuck with the big belt in most animations. They still have the light white face makeup, but they try to de-emphasize it and make it more colorful in most indications. This is almost, if somebody had looked at this after seeing more recent versions of how Harley has been depicted, they would assume that this is more of an edgier, realistic attempt at her, that they'd pretty much assume it's fan art. Whereas, yeah, the Joker, for the most part, still looks like the Joker. We mostly have just Catwoman stuff. So I'm going to try and get all the Catwoman trophies now. And we don't really know what story is going to happen with Catwoman. My hope is that Catwoman can avoid most conflicts, which is probably the case.
I think I'm going to enjoy
That's
this.
quite a lot of prancing around for that transition, and very, very kind of unnecessary unless it's hiding some weird load. So, her goal is to beat up Two-Face's goons to get back your loot. We're not sure if that specifically means specific gadgets, or if that just means like stolen loot. We'll just have her jump in the water.
I heard Bruce Wayne got put in Arkham City. I'd like to get 5 minutes with that rich son of a bitch.
Yeah, we have a problem here. It's a weird transition point. For sure.
must be something else going on, right?
So, without the grapnel, without any real abilities, like,
She's too scared to face me. We got better things to do than just leave.
we have to get to this path. Yeah. And yeah, because now we can see very obviously why this path exists, is that this is the only way that Catwoman can really make it to the location she needs to make it to. And that probably means that in general, trying to work through this entire area is going to be somewhat difficult for her. I don't know if it's going to be that difficult, but yeah, it's not going to be super easy. Alright, we know this is in the building, so all I'm really trying to do is find a way up.
Why the hell did Batman save that useless mayor? It's that idiot's fault. We're all in this mess.
Okay, so we need to get in the area. And we'll probably have to fight our way through it to reach it. Which we are still looking for special combo whiplash and combo whip trip. We're also looking for a pounce. So we need to do A and X and A and B. Okay.
Catwoman's here!
And we pounce.
Get down here, Catwoman!
Alright. Now, she has as much upgraded as she can have, but that's not still really super useful or very helpful.
Arkham City's where you're gonna die! Nice outfit, Catwoman.
I'm trying to get the prompt for the A and X in one flow,
You're gonna die, freak.
but
Hey, Catwoman.
you pretty much have to trigger it to do to give you the prompt first. That gave me like 50 XP, like pathetically small amount of XP. It doesn't matter, we don't need XP at this point. This is that weird point where also the camera makes a very odd angle that makes it look like she's incredibly short when she's not depicted that way any other way. I wonder how much she can talk to other people.
Get me out of here.
It's that kind of attitude that gets you in these kind of situations.
If you don't open this door, I'll kill you too.
Will you really? See you later, Bane. Hopefully next time you'll know how to talk to a lady.
So yeah, you could potentially, I think, spend some extra effort. There it is. Running around as Catwoman, talking to whoever is still around. So we could go talk to Mr. Freeze. We could go talk to the other characters. I imagine it's not going to be particularly interesting dialogue, though. If I'm just gonna guess, and unless the game is going to make that special effort to allow us to get to specific areas while we're collecting the Catwoman trophies. I don't think it's really worth the effort.
I'm collecting the reward and find my way out of here.
What's Catwoman doing here?
Yeah, it really does feel like there's a decent amount of a decent amount of extra dialogue you have to write just to have Catwoman make sense.
Well, isn't this nice? I guess Batman found your wife after all.
Yes, my beautiful Nora is now safe.
So, is now a good time to talk to you about an idea I had to steal the Pharaoh's diamond from the Egyptian Museum? It's really hot there, and, well, all this latex really makes a girl sweat.
That's a
Leave
weird
me
line
with
of...
my wife, Catwoman.
Just asking, Freeze. Just asking.
As a weird line of dialogue to write. But I guess that's what you pretty much expect, wouldn't it be? That you would just run into scenarios of jokes. Catwoman maybe developing her character a little bit more.
I will fix you. I cannot live
Yep.
another day knowing this was your fate.
I imagine what they would want us to do is they're going to ask us to beat up Two-Face thugs, which means I need to be in the other area. And then they're going to ask us to beat up Penguin thugs. And then they're going to ask us to beat up maybe some other characters' thugs. And eventually we will just get down to being asked to beat up Riddler thugs, which will take us throughout the entirety of the world a second time. And I'm not really sure if I see a good reason for this to not have been unlocked as an option earlier. Like, we could have had these transition points in which we could have played as Catwoman throughout the game, and there could have been very little to actually accomplish by doing that, but that still would have been fine.
Guard, run, hide.
Okay.
They'll find you.
Looking around on the ground. I think it does fairly make sense that this would be a way of keeping you on the ground a lot more. So if there were way more sequences in which you had to play as Catwoman, and Catwoman had to just stay on the ground a lot more than even she is now, that would make sense. Okay. Says it is that direction, right? Alright.
When I get out of here, if I get out of here, I'm heading straight out of Gotham City. Hell, I'll even give Bloodhaven a shot.
I always knew you were chicken.
Okay. So when we hit pounce to the to the roof. That she does feel really small. Maybe she is just smaller.
See you're too scared to
Like,
face me.
frankly, she's so small that she gets down to a level of feeling like she's a child.
So Riddler's back, huh? Figures. I've seen him. It's all over Arkham City.
You know, you could have potentially, with a lot more budget and ambition here, and maybe they didn't even really need more budget, just more ambition. This could have been the way that you got through each level in each room. You have not every scenario, but nearly every scenario where you get into a stealth room, predecess it with you playing that same room as Catwoman.
She's too scared to
Potentially even
Arkham City, go to hell.
potentially even making the situation worse and setting off alarms, or sneaking through a room when it's empty and then Batman shows up and it is populated with the bad guys. Yeah. Use Catwoman to make the player look at the ground floor, so you can't just grapnel everywhere. Use Catwoman to depict like where the layout of a room, what the layout of a room is. All of that, I think, would be very, very helpful. But I can already tell, even here, she doesn't get like a Catwoman signal, which is fine, because that would change the interface and probably just lead to confusion. But
This place back before they built a wall. Look out! It's the cat!
yeah, I can definitely feel how this is not a particularly safe
The cat!
and good way to
Think you can
try
hide from
and
me? Grenade!
and run around the level. There's
See her! She's up there! We got her!
so yeah. That's a odd sound effect from Harley Quinn, who also, frankly, is kind of sorely underused in the game. For as much as Joker is overused, Harley Quinn in this one specific game has been forgotten about. Even when she falls forward, that is basically the Assassin's Creed fall forward mechanic, and it questionably feels like they straight up stole code or animations, or maybe they just bought it from the same third-party animator.
Jeez, it's cold.
Alright, so I'm gonna play this a little more carefully. Remember, we don't have a lot of
How do I get out of this place? There's got to be a way. This way! This way! Over here! I got her! She's dead!
And this might just be a case that is the only line of dialogue they wrote for that. So we're gonna have to do a ledge takedown. Then we're gonna have to get a take out somebody else differently, because she is just too weak. Unless there's something special about the bolo that...
Damn tower exploded. I thought we were all gonna die.
Alright. We'll do one ledge takedown. And then we'll have to
If Batman's
jump
here,
down and run.
there must be something else going on, right?
What are they waiting for? They gotta build another prison or what?
Over here! Catwoman, keep
Okay.
running!
Alright, so on this ledge,
What's Batman doing in here anyway? Ain't this place a prison?
like, trying to get back to maybe grabbing on that same ledge now.
I heard Bruce Wayne got put in Arkham City. I'd like to get 5 minutes with that rich son of a bitch.
Alright. So, yeah, unless I can stealth take down. Right. So yeah, the only way I could even take out 3 armed guards was by basically cheating and stymieing the characters with a bolo attack to just throw as many bolos as possible, as quickly as possible. Inside the steel mill, there is no transition point. I imagine that there is a decent amount of people around here. So I don't want to be in any way overly underly cautious, I suppose would be the right word to use. And I guess it almost doesn't matter if I can get some of the Batman trophies in the steel mill, because specifically in the steel mill, if I think about it, there is one more of these to shoot that I missed. So Batman would have to get back into that area anyways to shoot it. And Batman, I think, has to do the Riddler pictures. So Batman is going to make it back to the steel mill. We could do the Bowery. We can do the subway, potentially. We can do the industrial district, potentially. Amusement Mile is completely done. Park Row is missing 1. Right. This is behind her, but not in the steel mill. I think my concern here is that I'll end up having to go through the steel mill as Catwoman because of storyline reasons. Anyways. Do I even have to bounce up to the roof? Yes, I do. Okay. So, I think we'll go to the subway now. I think that makes the most amount of sense to just ride it in that general direction, see if we can actually get through all of the subway things. This would be funny if it turned out that the Scarecrow or Killer Croc showed up in Catwoman's story, but they probably wouldn't be much. It would almost make sense for Killer Croc to show up in Catwoman's story, because then that gives the convenient excuse of not having a real fight, whereas where Batman would feel obligated to actually fight Killer Croc and not just run away from him this time. Yep. Of course, the problem you're gonna run into here is we can't see any of the Batman trophies. Well, we can pick them up. This should be one probably directly under here. Okay. Yeah. Well, we now know where one is, but we won't be able to swap between them. Next one is this way. And a cat crawling through the sewers, I guess, makes for a decent story, or seems reasonable. It may not really be worth our effort to go this direction, but we may have no choice but going this direction anyways. There are no Catwoman trophies in the Wonder City section, so yeah, that's something we don't have to deal with. But it very possibly is going to be a nightmare scenario where we're gonna really struggle. We're getting this kind of jamming sound effect, which maybe indicates that there's a guy with a jammer. Yes, there is. Which all we want to do is run. We don't want to fight anyone. She can't hang down as a character, so we'll have to keep that in mind. She can't open the doors as a character, so we just moved right through that section without any real fight.
What starts with a tick and ends with a shock?
I don't think we have any reason to deal with that. And then we've got to figure out how to get to the roof, which is here. To run this way and grab that one. I probably could beat this. No, because there's no bounce to the ceiling. Plus, I don't think I can activate it, even if it wasn't already activated, because I don't have the hacking ability. So, yep. Just move through this to the next section. And you have a built-in excuse for why you would make this, or why it would make sense for Catwoman to walk around and not be attacked by anybody, in that she is a powerful supervillain who would have been more than likely feared by most goons. So you could have the AI characters just totally ignore her, or even say, "Oh hey Catwoman, how's it going?" That'd be really funny if they were just on super friendly terms. And then you only have a small selection of enemies that really want to fight her. Usually, I would guess, supervillains themselves. Let's see. The map indicates that it is right here. The whole system's, yeah. So maybe it's on the next floor. It would be an interesting experiment, certainly, if Catwoman was playable in that way, that she could just literally walk by the goons and they wouldn't attack her. Or she would only be attacked by Two-Face goons and not any of the other goons. There's a lot of diamond level characters. Oh, these are the guys that have your loot. Interesting. So that's how we're gonna find them. I definitely have a question as to why Doctor Strange seemed to try and brainwash and actually control the inmates, if his plan all along was just activate Protocol 10 and kill them. And just be the killer version of Batman. That's pretty much what he saw himself as, and that's pretty much something that just kind of gets ignored and not explained in this game. Right. There's this weird subway station marker that seems to flicker green. I don't know what that's supposed to represent, other than maybe it's just the entrance. I guess that's what it's trying to represent. It says directly in front of me is a Catwoman trophy, and it is. Which I guess once again highlights that there's no good logic here as far as trying to get the trying to play the game in detective mode. Okay. I would say, I suspect you're not supposed to need to go back to the museum And so I just missed two things in trying to cheat my way through the museum.
How do we get out of this place? There's got to be a way, right?
What's she doing here?
Let's see.
Catwoman! She's here!
Okay.
I don't care where you've gone. I'll find you someday and kick the living. I see you're too scared to face me.
So we see a diamond guy there, a diamond guy there, diamond guy there, diamond guy there. So it doesn't seem like you get a lot of options.
Too scared to take on me? Not surprised.
Hey, come back, chicken!
I want to pounce on this guy, and I don't seem to be getting...
Gordon's gonna shut down Arkham City soon. Then where we gonna go? I kinda like it.
Catwoman's here!
Wow, did she just kiss that guy? It looks like she just kissed him. That would be like more of a poison ivy, I'm gonna poison you with my pheromones thing. Okay, and so that got you +1 loot for beating that guy. And so our main goal is, doesn't really say it anywhere, is to just get Catwoman's loot. That didn't get us any item or upgrade or anything. Which is kind of a shame, because that would be more
Joker's dead.
in line with what I would like to have seen, is that she would have gotten more of Batman's abilities or style of abilities. Or you could have had her be playable a lot more throughout the game, so that, let's see if we can just run through here and not really have to take on anybody. That would be ideal. Yeah, there could have been a lot more of beating up bad guys to get loot and rob them. Although that probably is going to feel fairly grindy, even though we're only getting about 16 pieces of loot right now. I imagine that 16 will get turned into another 16, and that'll get turned into another 16. Let's see, climb to the ceiling. That transition is awkward and kind of slow. We won't probably have a way of fast traveling out of here, which would be nice if you could just hit the start button and fast travel out of a dungeon area. Yeah. And there was really just nothing else to get here for Batman, so we'll try and keep an eye on that stuff just in case there are a few Batman trophies, but I think we're going to be severely limited in the number of ones we can actually grab. Alright. I think we know where this one goes. This might be a great example of where you make a character that is easier to just walk normally with than it is to try and do the flashy jumps. Maybe it is a case here that even in the first game, they had the grapnel. They made the grapnel too powerful and too well programmed that it just becomes the default method of momentum throughout the entire gameplay. And yeah, undoubtedly that would have ruined any Assassin's Creed type game also, if you could just grapnel your way to the highest level. Which is funny because that is exactly what they eventually did, is that they made a Assassin's Creed game where you could grapple or grapnel yourself up to some heights. But they actually introduced that ability, I think, fairly late in the Assassin's Creed long-running series, so by the time they had introduced it, they had already worn out their welcome as far as games that were designed to be precision climbing stealth games anyways. It's odd that this dinosaur moves, because that's pretty much the only thing that's even close to a jump scare in the entire game. Even the Mad Hatter section is not really scary. Okay. So, it would be really nice if she could move the one Identity Thief side story forward, but I don't think she can. So, yeah. We have to kind of play Catwoman's story, trying to find people with diamonds and taking them out. It does seem like it's specific people, which that probably helps a little bit.
If I get out of this place in one piece, I'm heading for Bloodhaven. Hey, there's all kinds of crap going on down there.
Now, I don't want to do a ledge takedown. What I want to do is a pounce.
I can't believe strangers would just kill us all.
What I want to do now is to try and get high.
I used to play down this way when I was a kid. Place hasn't really changed much.
Okay. Next guy.
Just playing Batman. He ain't dead. He can't be. Not Joker.
See, what I think would be nice here is if you could climb down and just kind of stick to the wall and climb like Spider-Man a lot more. How many guys are on this?
Catwoman needs to be careful. Some of these maniacs ain't seen a woman in years.
Alright, well, I think our best bet is to end up there.
Someone turn on the heat.
What the hell is she doing here?
Alright, well.
Just gonna keep Snowy.
Alright. Next. Interesting, Like music playing. Why would there be music playing?
What's wrong with the Riddler freak? Hasn't he got better things to do than just leave green question marks all over Arkham City?
Okay. Okay. So here you have a problem where unless these were unarmed guards, which maybe they're unarmed, I don't see how. It's like a knife, a baseball bat.
Look out! It's the cat!
Like you can't really sneak up on those kinds of guys. We still really don't have a rhythm there. That's another one of those moves that looks like she kind of kisses the character.
Won't take long. We'll be quick.
Right. And even poor guys. And I guess I really don't have to take on all the guys. I could just try and take out the one guy, but you don't really have any Batman-esque booby traps or anything. So, yeah. It's not like I could put a mine down or something.
Got to be a way, right?
These definitely feel like puzzles.
They'll move us somewhere else. They won't let us stay here long.
Right, there is a pounce I'm seeing.
Catwoman's here!
I'm really having a hard time doing the knockout attack.
See, I told you! Catwoman's here!
What you really need, let's get that Catwoman trophy while we're around here, is something that would refill your health. Either by regenerative collection, just waiting enough time that she would just regenerate and heal, which that does feel in line with what the superhero ability that Catwoman probably has, if she has any superhuman ability. It would be the ability to heal, whereas Batman is probably not so much. Alright, well. Pounce attack, drop attack. Oh, so is it a case that you need to be further away?
Would it kill someone to give us coats?
You know what? Let's just do it. that is not the smoothest way to potentially solve that problem, but I think that in the long run is the best way to solve that problem.
More snow. Great.
Now we're gonna follow this guy. And you kind of jump between locked in position to locked in position, as if there were programmed grip points.
Who'd have thought it?
And so we're just gonna hope that this guy gets close enough to the ledge that we can take him out, and then we don't have to take on 3 or 4 other people. Of course, this may take a while. There's 1, 2, 3 more pieces of loot that I see otherwise. So that means there's probably about 6 more pieces of loot I'm missing. And see, he's walking in a different pattern, which really makes me wish I could just walk, like climb around the edge of the building. If not giving her a Spider-Man wall crawl ability where she could just crawl completely, at least allowing her to go around corners of a building, and saying Batman can't do that because his grip strength or his weight is too high. You could easily explain that away. Alright, well, suppose what we'll do, well, I had a right bumped prompt. Okay.
So Riddler's back, huh? Figures. I've seen these weird question marks all over.
Nope, just get down. By all means, get down. Do not engage with those people.
Over here! I found Catwoman! She's running! So cold.
Where are they gonna move?
Okay. Yeah, she could have grabbed the birds and eaten the birds like a cat. That would be A, gross, but B, it would give you a way of refilling her health. My biggest concern at the moment also is that
What's she doing here?
none of this saves, and so we're going to end up dying and not being able to
We actually did it. She's gone.
collect.
Going back to Blackgate? I thought they turned that rat-infested hellhole into a shopping mall.
So that one's on the ground. So
Yeah.
we have one on the ground, pretty much there, which might make it easier to take out.
What now?
Let's see if we can do a pounce attack here. And then that leaves me in a good position.
Bitch Catwoman got all the loot. How come no one told me about it?
So we do see this like whole underground bounce to the ceiling mechanic. which I guess lets you do a takedown, which that's cool. So there's some special takedowns she can do.
1 minute the choppers are killing us all, the next they're just gone. Hey, I'm not complaining, but it's weird, right?
And there's no way to break through the window or reach this guy, so either I try and take out 4 or 5 characters in this minefield, or I've got to find a different way in. And see, this definitely could be much more of a stealth mission than you normally would have.
Everyone in this place except Scarecrow. I guess Croc really did tear him apart. Who let Catwoman in here?
Now, we need to run.
She went up in the air. Are we going back to Blackgate? What about the older side? Is it still there?
Let's see. Yeah, and there's really not a lot of story or criticism. It's funny because with this vision, it makes it look like this one gargoyle is made out of bone compared to the detective vision. So, yeah, I think you do this. And then you do this. And then I may just be too high to pounce. Okay. At least do the pounce attack, so.
Catwoman, she's here. Arkham City is gonna be the last thing you see.
Yeah. You definitely feel like it definitely feels like you could have just made a full stealth game experience with Catwoman. Just very, very little health, very heavy emphasis, and the game just hinting and telling you specifically to not try and engage in conflict or combat. I think it's this way.
Look out! It's the cat! Catwoman's here!
Nope, it's on the other side. This is the slightly weird setup.
What's up? Scared to fight me, cat? You should be.
Too scared to fight us? Not surprised.
I suppose, for as much as I criticize this game, having them taunt Batman and Catwoman with nearly the exact same words is a little bit more equal, egalitarian, I suppose, might be a word to use. Like, we've seen in several other instances of them just being way more sexist in their comments. Arguably, though, if these are hardened criminals, you almost expect them to say the offensive thing. So it becomes a little weird when they aren't making sexist comments. So I guess it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. Because yeah, I would expect the bad guys to have sexist comments made. But on the other hand, I guess I would also expect them to make just a lot of cursing, which we saw none of that in the game. So you're already pretty much admitting that this game has censored its dialogue to be more family friendly or sellable to a larger group of people. Let's see. There's basically no homophobic comments, and I would expect there to be some of that from bad guys also. I'm confused because it seems to me like either the remainder of the loot has to be somewhere else, or I've missed it somewhere. There is literally in the overworld only 5 more Riddler trophies. Does that include the 5 here? Very possibly. No, it doesn't. It can't, because we know that there's at least 1 in the overworld. Alright. So this puts me in a slightly weird position where I guess what I could assume is that if we work our way to this waypoint and switch back to Batman, we should probably find the remaining 5 guys with our loot, and then I don't know if that means that there will be another story line thing, more people with more loot, or what?
I feel this place getting worse, minute by minute.
Okay. Come on, I should be able.
Could stop snowing, just for 1 freaking minute.
It's really crazy that you have to be a certain height to do your pounce attack. I think it's a little weird to do the heart thing. Alright, so that's 3 more. We needed, what, 5, right? Nope, 4 more. So we kind of know where we're going. Good. Let's get up higher than this guy so that we can bounce on him. I don't think there's an advantage to be on the same level. Always gain the higher ground. Isn't that what they say in Star Wars memes? It's funny that it turned off the vision mode there. There's a lot of guys. We'll try and see if this guy will walk away. He walks away enough to do that and then run away.
There's some kind of fight going on over there.
Come on.
She's too scared to face me.
So the last one is on the rooftop. And this one we should get first. Come on. Got a nice drop attack we can pull off. Now the camera doesn't want to cooperate. You basically have to look at it from this angle because the camera doesn't want to cooperate otherwise. and hope that that can trigger. Maybe him walking away from me.
I heard Bruce Wayne got put in Arkham City.
He has to be kind of away from the edge before you can do it. So there was just something about that building that was not programmed correctly from the feel of it. Not programmed in such a way that you can actually pull off a pounce attack. Now, I don't think she can get on top of this. So we're in a weird position where I want to be able to get over there.
They're gonna move us somewhere soon. At least, I hope they do.
And I don't want to be spotted by that guy. Alright, we'll take the ledge instead. There's no reason to waste a lot of time to try and do pounce attacks when ledge attacks work just as well. Notice her whip and
The Joker's gone.
her whip and under the road attack. Not as.
You're dead now. She's over here.
Right, we need to.
That's all of it. Now what's a girl to do? I could quit this crazy town, but where's the fun in that?
Okay. So remove waypoint. Our mission now seems to be completely missionless. At some point we need her to run into Steel Mill and get the collectibles, but we also need Batman to run into Steel Mill and get collectibles. We have trying to get into a fight somewhere and doing the combo. I mean, we could do that, but it kind of doesn't even matter. It's way more important to take out two enemies with a grapnel boost or Line Rider to an unwary character. We have like one industrial district and several subway things that I guess Batman needs to collect. And that's it, yeah. So all the logic in the world says swap back to Batman and maybe in an hour or two we will have a full of a collectible set up as possible. I wouldn't be surprised if you played New Game Plus, you could get the two remaining like
Joker's not dead. It's just a trick.
Batman fight things to unlock that final idea. But I don't know if it's really worth
There's
it.
still work to do here in Arkham City.
That was very disappointing DLC for sure. Like there's no way to get around that. That was basically nothing. I expected at that point for you to then have to take on some stronger Mr. Freeze characters and get more loot, and then some Joker characters and get some more loot. I would have expected at some point you would have talked more with Poison Ivy instead of doing basically nothing with her. I would like to see her do something as far as getting the I would like to see her do something more with some of the other enemies.
How much more can you take, little girl? Please.
Yep.
Help me!
We have the guy. calling him a little girl.
You either do what I want, or I kill you here and now. It's just if you make me kill you. What's the bet?
And Batman just can break the bones of everybody.
Find someplace safe to hide from these animals.
And yeah, you're still playing way too much in that detective mode. So I'm gonna have to look up Identity Thief, certainly. Like, we'll in the next recording, we'll go here and take on the Riddler's final thing and capture the Riddler. That'll probably not be much. Then I'm gonna look, then I'm gonna do whatever I have to do Identity Thief. Then we'll get these last few ones and do the Still Mill. Yeah, but we're very close to being done. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.